point out in their brilliant ways is that if I were to reach into your pocket and take something because I needed it or deserved it or wanted it or whatever, it would rightly be considered stealing. But if I get a majority of my friends together and we elect somebody that the government takes it from your pocket to give to us, then we just call that democracy. But
Yeah,
it's a
Walter.
liberal democracy and it's still immoral.
By the way, Dr. Williams, Walter E. Williams, has a fantastic quote on that. I don't have it in front of me, but why is it that what I make, blah blah blah, but those guys, that's why they're Thomas Sowell and Walter Williams, because both being black, by the way, but lest us not be racist, but not racist, but color doesn't matter. But this stuff is just, it's the same thing over and over and over again. And both in terms of the emotion, if you will, the belief of the left and the entitlement mentality, as well as on the other side, and your article I think is very good on IJR, the data. The data is the data. But again, dude, they don't care. They don't care.
Yeah, no, they don't at all. That's right. It just, I just saw this thing, and it's it for me, it was kind of an aha moment. You know what? Here is a factual study based on real world results that run exactly contrary to the claim of the shrill, whiny left.
Exactly. And you guys, I mean, again, you guys being listeners, you need to go read this on IJR, Michael's post. It's been up for a day, dude. And as you said, nobody's reading it because they're not nerds like you and me. I'm a closet nerd. But again, headline: New information about ending long term unemployment benefits reveals something you wouldn't expect. Because you do need to care about this. And you do need to be, I've said this for a long time, as have others. Conservatives need to be armed, right? With facts and data. Not that they're going to change the minds of the Todds of the world. So I mentioned Todd, by the way, because I've been kind of fixated on him lately because you and I both know. But this post that I told you earlier, I put up, and I said the guy on the right, Obama, and the guy on the left. Todd has now joined the fight, along with I almost mentioned his name, my big time lawyer liberal friend. So we got Todd and this other guy going against my conservative friend. So this has proven to be an epic battle. But Republicans, conservatives do need to arm themselves with this stuff because they're never going to change the minds of the left. But when we're in a forum like IJR, or when we're in a forum like the Right Mics, or when any of you are in a forum where stuff you put out there is also going to be read by moderates, by those who are not so far gone with the Kool-Aid, we can, I really believe this, man. I think we can slowly at least begin to change some minds.
Right. I mean, the idea is that these kinds of facts make it such that it will hopefully become uh, an understanding that the opposite argument won't even be brought up anymore because it's just been debunked and it's now put to rest.
You're exactly right. You are exactly right.
Right?
All right. So, listen. Another subject dear to our hearts, dear to mine at least. I used to talk about this on the old Mike Miller show. The ongoing, man. This is completely a random shift to left field, but the ongoing Redskins uh, crisis, if you will. Did I send you that?
No.
All right. So I mean, obviously, we're talking about the Washington Redskins here. And you and I both know how racist it is to refer to the Washington football team as the Redskins, right? I mean, I think you and
Oh,
I
right.
both
Oh,
on,
you know what? I
yeah.
did find it. You did send it to me, by the way.
So yeah, you and I are both on board with that, right? That's disgraceful that in 2015, that we should still be referring to the quote Washington football team as the Redskins, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Oh, absolutely.
So all right, so what's going on since the Super Bowl next weekend, Glendale, Arizona, suburb of Phoenix. Apparently, we're going to have a couple of protests Saturday and Sunday, football Sunday, against the whole notion, not only of the Redskins, dude, but they're going to tie this to domestic violence against Native Americans at the Super Bowl protest. So you down with that? You going to be there protesting?
Um, Actually, I'm not going to be there protesting because I shudder to think at the carbon footprint to get me from Newport Beach to Arizona. But I'll be doing that here.
Well, there you go. I mean, even if it's just you outside of a, well, I don't even know. You know, you could probably hook up with Phyllis, and I don't mean that in a biblical sense, of course, but that you guys could, you guys.
I, Mike, you have to know that when I'm out in public, I'm always carrying some sort of protest banner of some kind.
Well, as you should, as a caring American.
Hmm.
All right. Okay. So here we go. Native American activists, organizers. By the way, in a state, this being Arizona, that has 21 recognized tribes, going to hold multiple events that, obviously challenge the, dare I say, the horrific word again, Redskins name, and tie the stereotypes, that whole deal. I mean, you and I have talked about this before, and Jessica, we used to do a regular update this on the old show. But so this one is particularly interesting, Michael, because the Coalition of Native American Groups gonna hold a vigil. Phoenix's Civil Space Park. Didn't know there was a Civil Space Park in Phoenix. Memorial.
You don't have a map?
Well, I didn't know. I don't think of when I think of space, I don't think of Phoenix, and that's on me. But memorializing missing and murdered Indigenous women, according to the event's Facebook page. So, dude, I guess my question to you is, can you please connect the dots for me between the Washington football team's abhorrent name and murdered and missing indigenous, which means Native American women. I like. Yeah, apparently, I'm not the sharpest crayon in the box. I'm missing that.
Well, it's a culture of disrespect. It's a culture of disrespect. It's a culture of placing them as second-class citizens or even subhumans. So if you're going to consider somebody a subhuman, violence and because as well, just as whites, we have an innate need. We all have in the phrase, the words of Dexter Morgan, we all have a dark passenger that drives us to kill or hurt those that have skin color that's darker than ours.
And see, this is why you are so much more profound and deeper than I am. Because, dude, I didn't even get that.
Right? I mean, you didn't, and to pull
Not,
Dexter's dark passenger in also makes it culturally current as well. Anyway, so given that as a kind of an a priori status of all white Americans, you throw in the Redskins as a casual sports euphemism, and that's going to increase the likelihood that you're going to be able to act on that fundamental desire that you have to begin with.
I mean, I guess you're right. Because what better opportunity would you have? You're at the Super Bowl. Okay, Jessica, I got it. Yeah, I just after I sent that to you, I didn't get it. The whole Dexter thing. But what better opportunity to exploit than the name of the Redskins? You're in Arizona. You got a bunch of Native American tribes and stuff out there. Now that you've explained it to me, Michael, I think it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. So of course I'm on board with banning it. Obviously, my preference would be that football be Well, ideally, there would be no football of any kind. But if you're going to insist upon it, it certainly should be like flag football, so
Well, see,
that
that's the
there's.
deal. And, maybe we should do a segment sometime on, we don't just stop at the Redskins. I mean, you need to get into baseball. You need to get into the Braves. You got to get into the Indians. And then I think, being that you're in Southern California and I am simpatico with you, we got to get into the whole PETA thing, the Dolphins and the Bears and the Seahawks and everything. I think that, again, like I said yesterday, we got a lot on our plate, but there's a lot of stuff that maybe we can bring Phyllis in as well. That this is just out of control. We have to be far more politically
Well,
sensitive.
there are a lot of games that can be played that encourage physical activity, that are healthy, that don't have winners and losers, that don't encourage physical violence and even physical contact. That would be team building exercises, that would be confidence inspiring exercises, that would increase that would increase a sense of positive self-worth for everybody involved, not just those that for whatever reasons they end up being quote winners end quote and scoring more points.
See, I
There's
think
a
no, I'm just
I don't
saying,
know.
dude, that's brilliant. And while there should be no scorekeeping or, obviously as a result, final score, nobody wins. But I think everything you just ticked off, I think those should be the real stats of the game, shouldn't they?
Well, absolutely. I mean, now when my kids were little, they were my youngest one was in a soccer league that they did not keep track of the score for sense of fairness and for positive self-image and not wanting people to become discouraged or feel down.
Mm.
But the reality was is that as much as there was no official score, um, every single kid knew exactly what the score was. Every single parent knew exactly what the score was. Kids would come off the field and go, "Hey, we're winning." Obviously,
And of course,
obviously,
exactly. And of course, they're being the progressives, love that term. Their ultimate objective is when we die and our kids die, and they've been indoctrinated for years that the score doesn't matter, is to try to get them to pay more attention to the statistics, if you will, that you mentioned previously. So,
right.
the problem is, of course, the rest of the world doesn't act that way.
Well, you know, uh, I'm going to stay in character with that. That I obviously held my head in shame and was encouraging all the parents to participate in sports or activities that it made it impossible to keep any sort of score.
See,
That
this
being
is
said,
why
yeah,
you're so valuable to society, dude, because you care deeply about this kind of stuff. But continue, please. I'm sorry.
no, you're absolutely right. But the reality is that life does keep score. And there are winners and losers all along the way, and there is success and there is failure, because life itself, no matter how much these well-intended unicorn-seeking, rainbow-chasing organizers of that youth soccer league were, at some point, all of these kids are going to be like, "Hey, wait a second, um, why don't I get a trophy?" He's like, "Well, because you lost," or why didn't I get the job? Well, because you weren't the best candidate. Why didn't I get a raise? Well, because your performance was crap.
And you know
That's
what?
why.
And the thing is, I mean, human nature is to survive, and part of surviving is winning. And this is why, hopefully these people will ultimately fail. And I have faith that they will, as I have faith in what happened with the tremendous Gate for American Sniper dude. I can't believe this show's gone.
Yeah. We're done. 30 seconds, Mike. This is it. Folks, thanks for listening. This is The Right Mics. This is Michael Hausum for Michael Miller. We'll be back in 22 hours. Thank you so much for listening. Later this afternoon, our blog will be up, therightmics.us, with all the links and all the fun, and an archive of the show to re-listen. We will be back tomorrow with IJR's Becca as well.
This show is produced by IJReview.com.